Hey, I'm Mark Wilson. So you want to make some beer bread, huh? This may be the simplest bread recipe you'll ever make. And while almost everything that I do make is gluten-free, this one is not. Now, I've had a gluten-free beer before, and it kind of reminded me about that time that I was up in the Midwest and we went out to eat with a group luncheon for work, and I ordered tea. Now, I'm originally from the South, but when they delivered the tea, I tasted it, and it tasted like dirty water, and my question was, what in the world is this? And they quickly informed me that in the Midwest, they serve their tea unsweet, and that's just how it comes, and you have to ask for sugar. Whereas in the South, it is completely opposite. So, needless to say, I don't recommend trying to make this recipe gluten-free. I do recommend, like anything else, use the highest quality of ingredients you can find. I found that this one suits this recipe to a T. I find it to be fantastic. I've tried it with a light beer. Didn't turn out very well. So find a beer you like. Experiment with it. It's fairly simple. It's self-rising flour, it's sugar, and it's beer. It's very simple. Beer bread, one of the easiest breads to make. We'll go through the process really quick, and it will be really quick. So there's really not a lot to it. So here we go. We'll take our butter. Basically, we want to put it in the pan we're going to use for our bread. Lather it up really well with the butter. That way it'll allow it to slide in and out of there really easy. Once we pull it out, just want to thoroughly coat it. All parts of it. If you don't want to do this with butter, you can get some spray oil, put it in there. Just like butter flavor on the bread, because it's going to be in there with it. So that's pretty much that. Right, now we've got our sugar. We got our self-rising flour. You want to sift it. If you've got a fancy sifter, you could use it. Got a really nice one, but I'm going to use pretty much kind of what you have at home, probably. And what this does is it puts a little more air, makes the flour lighter, not as dense. It's just this simple. So we're almost done with this. Next step, I like this beer for cooking this bread. I've used countless different versions. If you just get a light beer, it doesn't taste as well. This is kind of thick, as you can see, a little darker. Turbo dogs are good anyway. But I find it especially great for this recipe. So all the ingredients are in there. You know, if you have a fork, you can mix it up with a fork. I've done that before. It works. But if you have a mixer, a hand mixer, that'll work too. But if you got a mixer, you want this attachment on there. So I'm going to put that on there, come back, and we're going to put it in the pan. Got our beer bread batter mixed. Now it's just going to be to place it in our cooking pan. And while you're mixing this up, one key thing is you want to scrape the sides and make sure it's all kind of uniform. You don't want to have a bunch of clumps. I mean, clumps are okay. You just don't want to have a whole section of flour that wasn't really mixed into it. That just doesn't ever work out very well. Nobody likes biting into a clump of flour. Alright. Jiggle it around. Now it's time to go in the oven. I'm going to cook it 350 for, I'm going to check on it in about 50 minutes, but normally it takes about an hour. That's all there is to it. After cooking it for an hour at 350 degrees, this is what we've ended up with. Set it out, let it cool for about 20 minutes to be able to handle it. And we want this to come out very smoothly. And we buttered it, so it should just slide right out. But it never hurts to take a butter knife and just carefully go around the edges. Release anything that maybe got stuck. That way you don't have a partial bread come out, or partial loaf of bread come out. And then you want to carefully grab it like that, kind of, and just let it slide out. Otherwise, it could, go rolling out on the floor. Ask me how I know that. So here we go. Now we're going to set this off to the side, begin working on the meatloaf. We're going to allow this to completely cool down. And I can tell you it smells delicious.